In this video, we will show you how to replace your rear view camera on this Jeep Grand Cherokee. This will be mounted directly to your rear liftgate. Let's get into it. Okay friend, let's get started on the replacement of our rear view camera, which is located just under this area. To be able to remove this, we have to open the liftgate and remove the inside panel. With the liftgate in the upright position, we can start removing this inside panel. This will have several push clips making their way around, holding this in place. So we're going to have to use a plastic trim tool gently separating it, but we do also want to make sure we pay attention in case there's any wiring harnesses behind your rear lamps. We're using our plastic trim tool. We want to try to get in between the trim panel and the door. It's a good idea to use plastic so you don't scratch your paint. Make your way in between and gently start prying. We don't want to cause any damage, we just need to separate the plastic push clips. Before I go too much further, there's the wiring harness that I had mentioned that leads to the back side of the lamp assembly. On this side of the vehicle, let's go ahead and disconnect this. We'll make our way over to the other side, continue removing the panel, and disconnect that wiring harness as well. For these electrical connectors, it does have a locking tab on the inboard side. Use a small pocket screwdriver or small pick. Make your way in between the locking tab and gently separate this. Once we remove it, a quick inspection for corrosion. All right, let's continue popping this down. We're being careful not to cause any damage. Now while I can, I'm going to go ahead and disconnect this one. As for the lamp on the driver's side, the lock is actually along the bottom side of it. It's not on the inboard side. Same process, pocket screwdriver, break it free. There we are. Pull this down and out of here. With the panel out of the way, we're going to be focusing on each side of the liftgate. You can see the inside of your lamp assembly. Let's start by disconnecting the electrical connectors. For one of the electrical connectors, there's a red locking tab. You just want to go ahead and dislodge that. Continuing from there, there's another locking tab that you just depress. Once you have it apart, a quick inspection for corrosion. As for this one, there's no red locking tab you have to dislodge. You just squeeze right in right here and pop it out of place. Now it's time for the mounting hardware. For this, you're going to find that you have two 10mm nuts on the inboard side and two on the outboard side. Now we'll make our way out here. Continuing from there, I'm using my plastic trim tool. We'll just make our way in between this area and remove that tail lamp assembly. Just a quick inspection of that and we'll set it aside. Repeat the process on the other side of your liftgate. Make our way towards the center of the liftgate now. We have this electrical connector. Go ahead and squeeze in on the locking tab, disconnect it, quick inspection for corrosion. Now we're going to start focusing along each side of the liftgate. We're going to be dislodging this plastic panel. You don't have to fully remove it. We're only going to remove this push clip right here. To remove this, I'm carefully using a trim tool. You can either get underneath the push clip or underneath the plastic panel. It is common for these to break. If that's the case, you just want to go ahead and replace it with a new piece. We'll just pull that right out of there. Like I said, these typically break off. We'll replace that with a new one. Now just behind it is that next push clip that we're going to remove. For this one, you'd want to remove the center and then you can remove the outer portion. I'm using a trim tool for this as well. Hardest part's just getting underneath it. There we are. As you pull down on the center, eventually the outer portion will come out as well. As you can tell, that dropped down. I'll pull it out of there, you can take a look. That's what it looks like right there. We're done on this side. Repeat the process on the other side of your liftgate. Let's have a quick look inside of the liftgate assembly. Up in here, you can see there's 10mm headed nuts. There's one right up here. As we move inward, there's another one. We'll continue on. You can see a third one. And then right over here is the fourth one. We'll start removing these from one side to the other. Pull that right out of there. A quick inspection of the hardware as we continue on. The next one's going through this port here. Let's get that third one here. Making our way towards the center, we have a fourth mounting nut. Now you have the exact same thing on the other side of the liftgate. Now, if you were to look right next to your rear wiper motor, in this port here, you're going to find a squeezable clip. It's fairly difficult to get pliers in there, but if you were to use a 7mm socket and press it right on there, it should squeeze those ears and you can press it up and through. Once you have the locking ears on the outboard side, we'll continue on by lifting this piece up and out of here. Now along this area, we should be able to carefully pull this up and out of place. And we'll just use our trim tool, make our way in between here. We do have a wiring harness with a rubber grommet. We'll just pop that right out of place. Just get this wiring harness up and out of here. Let's get this over to the bench. Looking along this panel, we have our camera. Let's have a look at the back side. In this area, you'll find that you have an electrical wiring harness coming along the back side here. For this, you just want to dislodge it from its one mounting point. That just gives you a little bit of slack here. Continuing on, you have your electrical connector. For this, you just use your small pick or small screwdriver, gently pry this away and pull it out of place. You want to carefully try to get in between this area, gently pry up on the locking tab, and we'll slide this off of here. Got a lot of sand in there on this one. Inspection for corrosion, of course. Continuing on, you're going to find that you have 2 Phillips head screws. Let's remove the pair. There's one. I'll get this one out of here as well. The exact same thing. Take hold of the camera and remove it from the panel. There it is, friend. Continuing on, it's a good idea to clean and inspect the mounting port here. Make sure there's no debris that could get in the way of that camera. Now we can install our brand new rear view camera. We'll make sure when we install this, we have the electrical connector facing the proper way. Start in each of your 2 Phillips head screws. Once they're both started in, you can snug them up. Now it's time for our electrical connector. Press it in, listen for a click. Make sure it's secure, give it a little tug. Now we're going to secure it down underneath its mounting hook here. Let's get this over to the vehicle. As we bring this into position, let's start with our electrical connector through its mounting port. I'm just going to slide that right down there. Continuing on, we have our rubber grommet that needs to be secured in the body of the vehicle. Press it in, listen for a click. Now it's time to align the panel with the body of the vehicle. Once you feel as though you have it aligned directly in the center area here, we're going to lightly tap this straight down. That's where that plastic push clip was located. Now let's make our way inside of the liftgate. Let's start installing these 10mm headed mounting nuts. We'll continue moving towards the center. That's one side. Repeat the process on the other side of your liftgate. After completing that, looking along each side of the tailgate, we have that plastic panel that we dislodged a push clip from. Go ahead and take hold of that. Under this area, we had that other push clip that we removed the center and then removed the outer portion. When installing this, we want to have the center pulled out so it's in the unlocked form. We'll drive in the outer portion, lock it in with the center. Press that up in there. Take hold of the edge. We're trying to lift it up in a way it should not pull away. Assuming that's secured properly, we can get this back in place. We'll continue on with our push clip for here. Since my push clip broke, I've got a brand new one. Drive in the outer portion, lock it in with the center. Double check, make sure this panel's completely secured. Repeat the process on the other side of your liftgate. Let's get our inside tail lamps aligned. Once you do have it aligned, just carefully press it down into position. We have our 10mm headed mounting nuts. Start them on, snug them up. Now it's time for our electrical connectors. Press it in, listen for a click, a little tug. Continuing on, we have the next one. We heard that click, lock it down. Repeat the process on the other side of the liftgate. Make our way back to the center here. Plug that in as well. Now it's time for our inside panel. We'll start with the electrical connectors. Line up your locking tabs, press them in, listen for a click. There we are. We'll repeat the process on the other side, being very careful not to damage our electrical wiring harnesses here. Start getting this aligned now. We're trying to align all of the push tabs with their corresponding ports. Once it feels as though they want to slide in, you can start tapping this into position. Double check all the way around to make sure that you're completely secured. Okay, friend, we finished our installation. The next thing you want to do is hop in the passenger compartment, put your vehicle in reverse, and test the functionality. Thanks for watching.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.